Hello, everybody. Sorry about the wait and sorry about the confusion, but we are live. It's SJSU Savages against the USC Trojans tonight for the AVGL $5,000 Collegiate CSGO Championship Upper Bracket Final. A huge best-of-3, Cash, Mirage, and then a possible Inferno. I'm Awesome Sauce, your host, along with Hano tonight. And here we go for the knife round. Or excuse me, not the knife round, the pistol round. Yeah, do I have a brain? Yes, I do. But here we go. They're going to start it off right now.
I was a little bit confused too because the CTs have 5 sets of armor, no utility, no kit. And T side, 2 smokes, 2 mollies. What are they going to do with this?
They're taking it patient here. You see Kang, excuse me, Kang and ISO. They're going to be throwing some smokes to try to cross. Are they going to be able to try to get out? That's really the question here. They're going to be floating their way out of here and trying to get out there. A nice flick there by ISO. They're going to get to the site in a 5v2.
A little bit interesting. The CTs only have 1 player left alive. And Ts are sitting with 4 people, so piss around, obviously you don't need to save anything. So he's going to go for it. He's about 50 HP, just take down the second player. He's trying to get that guy on the catwalk, can't quite spot his head. The catwalk player surprisingly jumps down behind forklift though. 2 people sitting quad. As long as they don't peek, they should be able to have this in the bag. And that it is. So, nice little take from the T side. 2 smokes. I was surprised that they actually didn't smoke off quad instead, but I suppose it's what the utility is for with the Molotovs. So they just smoke catwalk, they smoke forklift, 2 mollies towards quad and AC as well, or MBK as some people might call it. CTs though, they do have money to buy up a scout and you'll tag and frag, right? So you pick up a scout on the CT side, and then you tag them enough so that CZs or 5.7s can then hit them with 1 bullet or 2 and pick up the frag, but looks like that's not going to be the case. Antwan not picking up anything at all. I assume he's going to be the op or 4th round.
They're taking it slow here. They got a 3-stack. SJSU has a 3-stack over on the B side. Antoine over there on A side, and Kirby's about to get some action here. There, Maki taking out Kirby. That's going to open up mid quite a bit. That's really going to split the CTs off here, you know, and it's going to put them in a bad spot down in a 4v5 against, you know, a couple drive-by MAC-10s, and they're actually going to pick the site that's not even the correct one. They're going to walk into a stack here from SJSU. They're going to walk in here and try to make this work, and they get 3 of them. They only lose 1 in that situation. It's down to a 1v4 from Antoine, and I think this map is, well, this round there, if I could actually talk and use my brain, is actually over at this point. Also want to go ahead and remind everybody here, check out bountyarena.com. If people use AVG, they get $2 free instantly to play. Okay, so bountyarena.com, check it out. Use the code AVG to get $2 for free. And they're really just right there, you know, there really wasn't much to talk about. I mean, it was pretty much a slaughter on the B side.
Absolutely. And the thing about T side though, they had 1 minute and 10 seconds left to execute on the site. Slow it down, man. Like, if you're going to walk into a stack like that, and if they're playing against a better team, I'm not saying that SJSU is a bad team. I'm saying if they play against a good team that can actually have like you know, some like CZs or something close up and pick up those frags, the better way to approach that is a little bit slower. Use your Molotovs, use your utility, but they got away with it pretty scot-free. I think only 1 player died. But CTs, they're not going to be able to buy much of anything, maybe a couple 250s. In this round, you don't really look to pick up the round. You just want to do as much damage as you can. But Maki picking up $1,200 with 2 ump kills there. They're rolling in some cash. Magnus, the only one left alive for the CTs though.
Yeah, really just a slaughter there. Not much to talk about. So some good money coming in there. Maki, yeah, you're right. That 1,800 he got for those 3 kills automatically is solid. It's going to put him at 8,400, and we got Hex with $9 grand coming into this round. This is great. So we do see the op come out for Hex, and you know, FAMAS, 2 FAMASs there for SJSU, and
remember what we were talking about too, sorry to cut you off, remember what we were talking about too is that like when you buy 2nd round pistol rounds and as a CT and you go into this 4th round, you got to recognize as a T side how much utility the other CT side doesn't have, right? So you have 2 choices, buy a FAMAS and get utility, or have an M4 and have no utility. And I think like a map on cash, you need to have the utility for any A executes that might come out, because you need the Molotovs to shut down the door for the 5 or 10 seconds. I think Molotovs are 7 seconds actually, but you just need to have that utility to shut those things down. But are you expecting a team that has a bunch of strats and utility to come out like smoke strats? We don't know that yet. So maybe the M4s are more beneficial. It really depends on who you're playing against. You have to read the opponents pretty well.
Yeah, that's a very good point to see here that they've got a pretty spread up setup here on USC here as they're up 3-0. on this T side. But Antoine, a nice frag there with the op playing from quad area. Does pick one in A main. That's going to slow them down a little bit. Now they have to rethink things here. USC does. And I think you're right, though. I think that it really just comes down to, do you want those utilities? And I agree with you on that. You do have to have those smokes and stuff as a CT side to prevent the terrorists from just running all over you. But the M4, definitely a better gun than the FAMAS overall. I mean, in so many facets. So, really there. But, oh, look at this. Kang Derpy actually holding 3 of these CTs over at B site for the executed A. If they can get Antoine, they'd be able to possibly win this round, but they're not really doing anything. Antoine's still alive at quad, making a lot of noise and still being a pain. 3 frags already, looking for a 4th. Not going to get it, but they're going to win the round. SJSU, their first round. Antoine surviving with 1 HP, a 3K with that off, and really surprised he survived that long.
It's really important for the CTs to have those 4 players left alive. There's the old rule that 3 can buy 2, 2 can't buy 3, and that's going to come down to it at the very end here. So saving money as a CT, you need to win these rounds, and you need to win them pretty decisively as well. So having 4 players left alive, if they win this next round, they can create a bank for themselves. CT side is a lot harder to get money, not harder to get money, but harder to save money than it is on the T side. T side, you can pick up an AK, and you can pick up armor for $3,700 and do something with it. CT side is a little bit harder. Obviously, their rifle's $3,100, and then if you want to pick up armor, it's going to be $650. But it's going to be more difficult for the CTs if they lose rounds. If they lose rounds, win a round, and they get their money reset. Nice opening pick coming from USC so far. Let's see if they slow this down. If they can slow this down, go into an execute, I think they'll be more beneficial. But Antoine.
I didn't call him Antoine because that's what I kind of guessed.
I have no clue, but he gets the pick regardless. It turns into a 4v4. They're going to try to take this B bomb site instead.
Look at Siren there getting the info. He does know there's 2 in the site, but gets a 1-for-1 trade. Not really ideal. Good flash there coming out. And look at this SJU squad coming in here. It's just ISO on a 1v3. He's going to have a hard time being able to do this unless they peek 1-on-1. He's paying patiently here. This is, I guess, the best thing he could do, but there it is. C-Dub AZN takes him out. So nice job there by SJSU. Really solid 2 rounds from them. That's good, and now it's going to put USC on a save, or they might be able to have Siren buy maybe a couple PT-50s and throw them around. But really a solid round there by SJSU playing the CT side really well right now.
Yeah, they had a good B hold there. They had 1 person headshot, 1 person sight, which is typical. And then let's see what they do on this eco around the T side. I'd like to see them... God, my dog, man. I apologize, boys. I'd like to see them use these 2 smokes and smoke towards the A bomb site because they recognize that the operator is playing quad almost every single round. So if you can smoke off Fork and you can smoke off that guy quad, try and push him, take that gun, and then you can get picks off of that. The thing about CT side anti-ecos is that if you go down in the A bomb site and they grab the guns, then it's going to be really, really difficult to retake the bomb site if there's so many Ts already taken the bomb site and have 2 guns with them. But I will be right back. Sorry about this. Just give me 2 minutes here.
Oh, that's fine. I can take it away. Just to remind all of you, the SJSU had a 40% chance on Lounge, USC 60%. But that's not necessarily true here. As you can see, SJSU really doing a great things here. Ricky inside of that side doing some good work. That's down on Mac, 1v4. It's not going to happen. He's going to fall. So SJSU following back up with 3 rounds in a row of their own, and they're going to be in a great situation here. While USC does have money to buy, very stiff buy. It's not going to be that much. You got Hex with that scout instead of an op that he does like to pick up. I would like to welcome you all in here to the AVGL Collegiate $5,000 Championship Upper Brackets. And really excited to have all of you here today. It's a fantastic game coming your way, a best of 3. First map, Cash. Second map, Mirage. And if possible, and if needed, third map of Inferno. Solid action coming here. Kirby had been doing some pre-spraying and stuff. Oh, look at this. There's Siren get caught out there. Kirby does get him. Kirby just really aggressive right now in this mid area on Cash, and this is some good stuff to see from him as he is going to get up into those vents and play a little bit more passive. They're going to have 3 towards B, one of those 3 being closer to mid.
Sorry about
and this is really going well. Hino, you're back. I'm really glad to hear that. But yeah, SJSU coming back in this is 3 rounds in a row of their own, and Kirby's in a good spot to possibly stop this mid push if they decide to do it.
Let's see what the T's are doing. 4v5. They're pretty grouped up. Every time they get picked, they seem like they don't know exactly what they want to do next. Kirby getting 2 kills. Hex gets a scout kill. A little trade there. Spots him on top of the balcony, but doesn't quite tag him enough. He is down to 28 HP. Hex, 1 more bullet. Should be able to pick this up. He's trying to jumping M4 right now. Really, Kirby?
Just a clarification, I would like to thank one of our viewers in the chat for clarifying me that it's Siren, not Siren. So Siren is the player on USC. So glad we got that clarified. Thank you so much for that, Michael. And yeah, so really, you're right. I mean, USC really, once they get picked, they really don't seem to know what they're doing here, and they barely had enough to buy. So if they lose this round, money-wise, they're going to get 2,900, and I think they're just going to save here at this point. I think this is really all you can do in a 2v4.
Let's see. Wonder why they're playing it so slow. I think that if they're going to continue to play slow, they're just going to get picked apart time and time again by SJSU. I'd like to see some fast strats, possibly a fast mid. If they go with the fast mid, they can take control and then try to go from the picks there. You can slow it down once you get a little bit of map control, but saving the scout. Remember, on T side, if you save and the time runs out, you don't get any money. CT side is the opposite. CT side, you still get the loss bonus. With T's, they're going to have very limited money here. One scout, an AK, possibly some armor and some Tech 9s. At this point, you have to ask yourself, do we want to force up with their other teammates not having much guns or many guns? And I think that's going to be the case. They only have an AK and a scout, and they need to play it slow in this particular case to get the two guns rolling, but they're just going to push instead.
Right, here it comes in their Siren. Nice frag there onto C-Dub. Really up close and personal. Able to do it, but Magnus with a double, a triple spray down. A little bit of differentiation there on when he stopped the spray, but still really nice to see him being able to do that. You got to stop Siren there, but Ricky comes in and helps him from heaven. And it's all down to ISO here in a 1v3, making a 1v2, but Magnus, a monstrous round, 4 Ks, survives with smoke grenade and his incendiary. And
yeah, a little bit of
a kid as well. That's huge from 9,000.
So the CT is building himself more and more and more of a bank. That's 5 rounds in a row. Remember, it's $500 for every consecutive round you lose. So 14 plus another 25 for 5 rounds. They're going to get their $900 every single round they lose. $3,400, sorry. Good math. But T side, they have some utility now. They have 3 nades, 2 mollies, 2 smokes, 3 smokes. Hex, going with the scout once again. I don't like the duel that he's taking against this Opera who's sitting in the back of sight towards quad. Is he actually there? Let's see where Antoine is sitting. And he is. This is a little bit of an off angle. I like this angle from Antoine. Let's see if Hex actually steps out with that scout and gets taken down early. But so far, I'd like to see the statistic of who goes down first. You know, the very first picks. Probably SJSU is 90% of them, I'd say.
This is interesting here. SJSU coming back after down 3-0. They get 5 in a row. They're doing a great job. Now they've got USC on this full max lost one. It's like we're talking about. Antoine holding this off angle. Molotov comes in, but it's able to force him out a little bit with the shooting. They're able to get out onto the side, but he's not dead yet. Antoine's still on the site doing work, and the CTs are all ready for this as they are mopping it up. And the round's almost over there, but as they say that, Hex comes in with some P250 frags of his own. He does fall, though. 2 frags, though, for the terrorist, and the pause comes in from Mackie, and I think you have to at this point. You drop 6 in a row. You try the A hit. Antoine stays alive for that long. He's holding that off angle with that up, like you said. The incendiary, or excuse me, the Molotov for the terrorist side does not take him out of commission because he's not even standing there. And so now you're in a position where USC falls there in that round. So now 6-3 scoreline. SJSU seems to have recovered pretty well here. I mean, they did lose the pistol round in the next 2, which I guess is kind of typically expected sometimes, especially since they didn't do any insane stack. They did a 3 stack, not a 4 or anything. But interesting to see them come back into this. Really, really happy to see it.
It's crazy that the T's had so much money too, right? We saw them rack up so much money with the SMGs, the umps, and the Mac 10s. And we saw them go up to about, what, $8,000 almost per 3 people. So with $8,000 sitting on 3 people, and they still haven't made anything work so far. But CT's getting the first pick almost every single round. I think that as a T-side in-game leader, you need to decide, we need to stop getting picked, right? And I think that we talked about this before, is that if you're going to be a slow base team, if you're going to be a T-side team that's very, very slow and methodical, but you keep getting picked because the CTs are picking you time and time again with an op or an M4 or whatever the case might be, something needs to change. So what do we do here? What do we do as a T-side? They're going to force. If you're going to force with this little of utility, this is why I disagree. They're going to force. They have only 3 smokes, 2 flashes, and a molly, right? And you have just AKs against a team that keeps picking you. If you're getting picks, that's fine, but you're not. So you need to have utility. You need to have strats. You need to have smoke strats. Smoke strats are good for when your default just straight isn't working. But to force here, the only time that I would force here as a T-side team is when I have the CTs on the ropes. If I have the CTs that are like, we win this round, and then we money F them the next round, but that's not the case at all. So I completely disagree with the buy out of the T-side here.
Just a reminder, everybody, make sure to follow us on Twitter at AwesomeSauceTV as well as at HanoCS. But here comes the CTs doing some good work here, shutting down the terrorists coming into that B site. It's Hex and Maki in a 2v2, but Hex does have the site. So Hex is going to get the bomb down planted for B main, the best possible plant he could get. But I don't think he knows that the flank is coming in, and here's the rotation. But Maki is in position now, so this is good. They're able to spot. Oh, but Kirby missing the shot, moving and trying to shoot there. Maki, they know where he is. They're going to smoke him off, and this is going to force Maki to make a play. He does hear the defuse. Antoine just going to stick it. And he's not going to get the round. And oh my goodness, Maki comes in with a double at the end, and he's going to win the round because of it. USC coming huge with his force.
That was insane.
Huge job.
Maki going through the smoke and knowing that he needs to kill the guy who's defusing the bomb. The CT player, though, didn't cover his teammate. So you can look at it two different ways. Maki making a nutty play through the smoke, or CT player not quite covering his teammate there. But either way, Maki picks up the round. That's big for them. A little bit of a momentum swing. Oh, the old Krieg coming out for Isa. Maybe he's got some stress we don't know about. But T's, like we said, though, remember, they had to force, and they only have one player left alive. So this is the time that the CTs can really money... we always use that term when we're playing. You know, you money F somebody. Is there like a polite term to use?
I talk like about hard resets.
Hard reset. Boom. We're gonna use that. I like that. They can hard reset their money right now, right? So the T side had one Deagle, one Galil, one Krieg, only the op. But again, they're looking for these picks. I don't know, man. I'd really like to see some executes or some fast strats, but if the CTs can hard reset the cash for the Trojans, it will not look good for them the rest of the half.
Oh, you know, and that's really true. I mean, you've got Kang also just with the Deagle here. Something I just now finally caught on to that. But like the thing is, these terrorists are taking one-on-one engagements. Hex a nice op frag there, but they're taking one-on-one engagements here. And the thing is, then the CTs know where they're coming, and then they just have to rotate over. Look at this, Ricky getting a frag in A main. Now all three of these players stuck in A main. They have to cross. Ricky's just going to get ready for this, throw the flashbang, and he is going to fall there to Siren. So it's a 3v3, actually. They are going to get in the site and plan. I'm a little impressed about this. Actually, USC coming in here and doing some good stuff, actually opening this round up. 2v2, but now they know where King is. He did jump and throw that fire. He misses the shot onto Kirby, and he also misses the other shot, so he's going to fall down and hit the concrete. Siren goes for the spray, does get the diffuser, and now it's AZN in a 1v2. Has to defuse as well. This should be winnable. Siren here. He is going to die through the door, excuse me, I almost said chair, and it halts down to AZN. He's going to go ahead and smoke this. Big flash. Defuse it, and he's going to get the defuse. He's got time for this. Absolutely insane there. So we've seen two back-to-back plays that were just chaotic. Almost impossible for me to call as who was going to win the round because of some sick stuff that was occurring between Maki in the last round and now AZN, and now the hard reset happens.
I thought for sure the Trojans had that. You have a 3v2 scenario. You have bomb planted, sort of planted for A main. It wasn't exactly planted for A main. I think that's the reason why ISO actually came out of A main, because the CT could defuse from default. So I think maybe a little bit of a misplant. Plants are so important in this game for post-plant positioning. And that plant in particular was just no bueno. Now we get a fast track coming out towards the A. See if Antoine can actually get the pick, but he can't. He gets tied down to 63 HP. Siren pushing him towards quad. This is a good play. Look at that pick. He turns around, 180. Nice headshot onto Ricky. Kirby with the SMG picks up 3. Beautiful frag. 2v2 now.
Oh, Magnus, a beautiful spray control on that FAMAS there, Hano.
He has the op. He can do this. Absolutely, he can do this.
Oh, it's down to him and Kang in a 1v1. Magnus has to peek, and he does it! The FAMAS spray holds true, and he wins the round. And now Kang goes down, so that's going to put the money situation for USC in okay position. They're going to be able to buy some. But they're not doing enough to take these rounds home. I mean, it's down to these 1v1s, 1v2s, and they've dropped the last 2, but Hex is going to get an op, and I think that's important for them, too. Instead of having Hex with a scout, you know, give him an op, and then they have Mackie with a, you know, the Armor Tech 9 stuff, so he could pick up a gun if somebody did die. That was nice by Magnus, for sure.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good round for the Trojans. They had just pistols and they almost won that round. Like I said, if the CTs don't play careful enough in the A bomb site and they lose those 2 guns, the Ts pick those guns up quickly. Let's just say it trades 2 for 2. It's a 3v3 situation that was going from a 5v5 guns versus pistols to a 3v3 with 2 people having guns and 3 people on the other side. So CT is just mopping the floor though. Look at this round. Beautiful round from them so far. Only 50 damage onto the CTs. And they're going to take that quite decisively. But as I was saying, if you have 2 players playing the A bomb site and you go down, it's a 3v3 scenario with 2 guns on the T side now, they can definitely hold that down. But ended up being a 1v1, a little bit too wide of a peek from the T side player playing quad. And if you're playing quad, by the way, if you peek the right side, your shadow always does pop up, so be careful of that. But CTs, 9-4. They have a little bit of cash. If the T's won that round right there, I think they would have reset the money for the CTs. So they're getting close, just not close enough. Like you said, it's come down to a lot of important 1v1s that they just haven't capitalized on.
USC, a nice job here. Being able to at least get into the mid warehouse area. Now they can possibly do something, but they're going to have to get close engagements. Like you said, they only the one the armor is ISO. They're going to be able to buy the last round if they did lose this round. But they'd like to get the bomb plant for the extra 800. And Siren is chilling outside A. And, you know, you're right. I mean, they just come down these 1v1, 1v2s, and they haven't really been able to do much. But, you know, USC winning that pistol round, and SJU pretty much, or SJSU, just really pretty much the rest of this half has been dominant. And besides that play from Maggie, and there's Kirby at mid. Again, very aggressive. He does like to get in your face at mid. It's appeared in this half. And now it's down to a 3v5 from USC, and they really need to get this bomb plant. I think they're going to go ahead and try to do the B side here, but Magnus throwing some fire, trying to hold them off. Really not much else to talk about here. I mean, they should be able to win this round, especially now it's a 2v5. Going down there, it's nothing going their way.
I think USC is in trouble here, depending on how strong their CT side is, but I mean, I keep pounding this. It's just that the CTs are getting so many opening picks, right? So if you flip the sides over where USC Trojans have to play on CT side, what are we going to see from SJSU? Do they have executes? Do they have fast strats? Are they going to work the same picks? If they work the same picks and they continue to get the 1v1 duels that they're winning over and over and over again against the USC Trojans, then it looks like it's going to be SJSU taking it on T side as well. And I wouldn't be surprised here if this ends 16-4.
Yeah, SJSU definitely playing well, but you know, a lot of respect for USC to be here at this point so far. I mean, they have 2-0'd everybody they played up until this point. Same with SJSU. We'll have to see if they're able to do it. ISO down to 1 health with AZN spraying him down through the smoke. I think Hex and AZN might meet here in a second in B main. Depends on if AZN decides he wants to peek aggressively into this, and he really doesn't have a reason to, but he's going to get a team flash, and he's going to go in there. So a nice flash coming in from Magnus. Looks like the B anchor there, flashing him out for that pick, and ISO's at 1 health now. So they have to decide what they're going to do. USC trying to get a foothold in here. A lot of respect for these guys trying to make something happen. They are going to smoke the cross and a flash, but he team flashes ISO. That's down to Siren. Kang here to win this round. Kang coming in doing a nice frag, getting into that site. But he's in a bad spot here. He does have to get this bomb down, and he has to defend against 3 CTs. He is going to go ahead and fake it. Peek into it, gets 1, so down to Kirby. But then Antoine closes out 11-4 the half there. USC wins the pistol and wins a few rounds after that, and then they're dominated by SJSU in this first half.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, boys. Like, the fans out there that are USC Trojan fans, what I'm trying to say is that these guys obviously have potential. Like you said, Awesome Sauce.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that they've 2-0'd everybody that they've come up to, but then they're hitting a brick wall here, right? So we're just trying to, I'm just trying to say to them, this is how you take your game and step it up to the next level. So if these guys want to keep improving and keep being good at Counter-Strike, this is what I'm seeing, right? So USC, they have potential. They have the aim. They might not have as good as aim as these guys, and you need to be a little bit more, you can't be, one-sided. You have to have multiple ways that you can attack things against other teams. So if they've played against other players who they can out-aim, this probably gotten them to the point where they've 2-0'd everybody. But now they're playing against a solid team like SJSU, and they're out-aiming them instead. So who knows? Maybe next map we'll see USC out-aiming SJSU instead. But so far, there haven't been too many crazy strats coming out of USC, but they are on the CT side now, so we don't have to worry about that as much. Let's see what SJSU has. They have a smoke and 2 flashes. I believe they're going to probably... Where's that smoke going? Kirby.
Yeah, and
Looks
absolutely.
like it's going to be a
You know,
B-fake.
I agree with that. You know, definitely a lot of respect for both these teams, and I don't mean to be one-sided in casting it ever. You know, never as a caster do we try to be too one-sided, but in this situation, just USC not doing enough at this point. But Mackey starting it out well there with that first frag with a 5-7. But the terrorists of SJSU are going to get into the site, be able to plan at default. It's down to King, Siren, and Hex in a 3v4 situation. They're able to possibly do this. They've got to be careful, and they've got to pick these fights together. The King down to 8 HP. Siren, a nice double headshot. He is going to possibly be able to open this up for the CTs coming in here in USC. Can they win this round? They do. So Siren, single-handedly, 3K to get into that site and open it up. That's what they needed, Hano. That's what they needed. The momentum boost, the confidence boost to be able to get that done, and they're able to win this round.
That's the aim we're talking about, baby. Look at that. Siren coming into the bomb site, picking up 3 kills. He proved me wrong. He's like, you know what, Hano? I think you're wrong. I think I can out-aim any of these boys. Comes in strong. Nice little retake from the CT side. So let's see what the T's are going to do. They did get a plant down, so then you have to decide. Typically, teams will just buy maybe a few smokes and get the bomb down again. They're going to buy MAC-10s. SMGs. This is a little bit odd. But I think I would have rather have seen them save them by AKs next round. But if you're feeling comfortable enough and you think you can pick up this round, absolutely. But CTs, it's going to be SMGs versus SMGs. This is a weird one, dude. And the ump, though, I prefer the ump. What do you prefer for an SMG there, Awesome Sauce?
SMG, I mean, the UMP 45 is definitely, you know, it does have 25 rounds. The UMP 45 to me is the best of the SMGs. Although I think the MP7's close. I think in certain situations, the MP7, you know, for the CTs is good as well as the Ts. I'm a big fan of the UMP 45 and the MP7, and here they come. They're just going to go ahead and have a huge battle here on the B side. Some stuff going USC's way, but they do die. And now it's down to a 2v3 here for USC with the site in the hands of SJSU.
These are paying off for them thus far. They have one guy playing in the back of checkers. This is going to be important to take down Ricky. He gets the trade frag, though. ISO down to a 1v2 scenario here. He has pretty good HP. T side, though, they need to peek together. They can't peek him 1v1. ISO creeping up towards headshot. Gets a little bit of damage down. Magnus, last one left alive. Picks up the frag into ISO. But not much you can do there. ISO almost bringing it back in a 2v1 scenario, but Magnus just too strong. So the SMGs do pay off for them. That was kind of doubting the old SMG buy, but hey, they get it done. They get it done. So USC here. I think in this scenario, you have to decide, do we want to have a little bit more wiggle room than just 3 rounds? And it looks like they've decided to just save instead, so they can buy rifles next round. I think that's an okay choice. CTs are looking to stack the B bomb site possibly. Nope, they're just going to play the regular 2-1-2. This I don't necessarily agree with, though. I think that if you're on pistols, you have to kind of surprise the T side, right? Like, you can't give them long range duels. But Maki getting on top of the getting boosted on default. This isn't too bad of a spot. Typically it's a rifle spot, though. It's a one and done spot. You get the pick, you fall off, and you kind of go away from it. The only downfall of this is that if you do get that pick into A main, it's very unlikely that you're going to get the gun afterward. If you play a little bit closer and you play up close with the pistol, obviously that's the advantage, but the other advantage is that you swoop up the gun right after. Let's see if Kang can actually get a kill on a Kirby here who's sneaking up. Look at this ninja play. Knife him.
Oh, he could have, but he does go ahead and take him out with a 5-7. And yeah, you know, definitely good points there. They do have that 2-1-2 split, and now it's a 2-2 split. Or, excuse me, a 3-2 split, excuse me, because the mid has been given up. But they're going to go ahead and pick the A side. Actually, the terrorists actually gonna have a little bit of an issue here with these CTs having all this advanced warning. USC, they need to find this round, and they need to find it right now. Can they do it? That's the question right now. ISO playing outside the smoke. Kane getting one. Magnus coming in with a double spray down. It's down to Siren and Hex here to come in here and make something happen. And make that Hex a 1v3 with the 250. Could do this. He does start it out with 1. And he's looking for more. But he's going to go down. SJSU up 13-5. USC, a nice job by King here at mid, but they do lose the round.
CT's $5,700 on King. Let's see if he decides to go with the op. I don't think that he was the opper on the other side, but we have a swag 7 coming out from Mackie. Nope, just straight up SMGs or straight up rifles here. The dangerous part about having rifles when you're really, really low on money is that you can't have the op to get picks, right? So if you get a pick, then you don't have to deal with the confrontation of taking damage and taking kills. Rifles, it's kind of like trade back and forth. With the op, you can kind of just get the kill and fall back. Ops can come up with huge rounds, 2, 3Ks, 4Ks, and then you can save a lot of money with it. But in this scenario, CT's just strictly rifles. Where's Maki at? With this SMG. There is, sorry, the Swag 7. He is playing the bomb site, so looks like they're going to wait for the T's to come to the bomb site before they pounce on them, I suppose.
You have to say, I really liked the angle ISO was playing there on top of the electric transformer box there, right there. He was able to get some shots through that door and do some damage. Kang dies, and now it's USC in a 4v5. They do have Maki on that side, like you said with that Swag 7. That can do a lot of damage on that angle, and we've seen it before. The question is, can they do it if they decide to go to the A site? And the Terrorists playing this actually rather slow here, just trying to find info because they're up in a 5v4. Possibly get a trade or just kill ISO and get in the site. Then they potentially could do it. But Maki's got a tall task on his hands here on this angle. And if somebody comes behind him, and now he has to be worried about that.
Absolutely. He gets the
Yep, he is going to go down. So now it's Siren and Hex in a 2v4. It's going to be hard for them to be able to pull off because the bomb is going to come in and be planted kind of for A main, but it could also be diffused just behind default. Looks like it's planted for door there. So now Siren here, at this point, really doesn't have much he can do except save.
Absolutely. But SJSU, recognizing that the CTs don't have much money, so they kind of gambled and said, if they're not going to have an op towards A, we can just work picks. So they get the picks, they slow everything down, and then just trade away, right? So Ricky might have gone down, but Antoine, he came in, picked up the frag, and we're good to go. So CTs, one player left alive, which is Siren. He's going to save it. And CTs, let's see, they're going to have 3 rounds in a row, so not going to have too much money to play with. Considering we have $0, $50. So $2,400 for the 3-round bonus. Let's see what Siren does with this gun. I'd like to see him get aggressive somewhere, just because if he gets aggressive with a teammate who has a pistol, then they can pick up another gun and try to work something. So in my opinion, if he feels comfortable, you kind of ask him in this scenario, where do you want to go get a pick? Where do you want to get aggressive to go get a pick? I think that he's just going to play mid. Might not be a bad idea. Boosting wouldn't be a bad idea either to kind of get that frag.
Make sure everybody, just so you guys are aware, make sure to follow us at twitch.tv/AVGL. Make sure to hit us up with a follow here in this upper bracket semifinal here. USC down 5-14, but they want to come back into this. They won the pistol. Can they come back into this with 2 Swag 7s, a Deagle, a 5.7, and an M4 here? This is possible. These are some high impact weapons they could use up close, except that M4 is a long ranger, and that Deagle as well. So, you know, they've picked their angles, except Hex here playing pretty much exposed to A main because they do have one of those CTs in there. That is Maki. So they know what's happening here. They know what SJSU is going to be doing here. I think they're actually going to play retake, it seems, because they really only have one in the site. They're going to try to come in here from the vents and try to stop this thing as quickly as they possibly can. Antoine actually shooting at his own teammate, causing some peril there. They're going to get in the site, though, in a 4v3. Ricky Shaw, the only one dying here for the terrorist side coming into the site. And
C-Dub, huge frag.
Yeah, just a lot of damage here. It's down to Maki, and this is going to be almost impossible for him to be able to pull off.
Yeah, CT just haven't had much money, so USC not being able to show what they can really do on their CT side because they haven't had that many rounds to play with. They've had to force almost every single time, so we haven't seen the actual CTs, CT strats or CT playstyle from USC. We've had them have Mag 7s 3 of the rounds. We've had them at SMGs. I think we've only seen 1 real rifle round out of them, and wasn't even that many rifles either, so 15-5, SJSU just going to continue to play this super slow. Maybe they'll put the nail in the coffin and go with the fast trap, but I suspect that they're just going to continue to play this slow because they're going to run into pistols, Mag 7s once again. We have a scout on the CT side as well. And there's that slow play.
Yeah, this is interesting. A lot of respect for USC regardless. They do have Mirage after this if they do lose this map. There's Kane doing a little bit of damage. Ricky doing some work as well. And it's going to make things a little bit easier here for SJSU to be able to make things work here. The spray coming in. Kirby actually doesn't get the spray. Shot coming in there in B main. Actually the scout, and this is, you know, the downside of having a scout not but he's played for the headshot there. And here, AZN And then working into this B side, pretty much handed to them. Maki and Hex in a 2v4 for the map. Can they do it? We've seen some good stuff coming in here from USC in these situations. Can they make it happen? As Maki here, gotta be coming through, sprang through.
Almost got
Let's
it.
check.
There it is, Maki.
Nice job by Maki. Yeah, a lot of respect for that. Getting that done, and now they have to come into this site and try to keep this alive. Keep this map alive here. Magnus throwing it appears to be a smoke. Hex getting some damage done in there. Coming in with a spray, Maki. Can they do this now? Maki in a 1v1 for the map. Magnus going in. Limited health for both. And there it is. Maki getting the kill, but he doesn't have a kit, does he? No, he does not, though. The game is over. SJSU is going to win it 16-5. Nice play by Maki, but no kit, and they are going to fall. The next map, Mirage. USC, good job early with the pistol round. They do win the next pistol round, but they win 2 pistol rounds. They still lose 16-5. It's unfortunate to them, but they do have to reboot and come into Mirage coming up here. And a lot of respect for both these teams. You know, like I said, both these teams have 2-0'd everybody up until this point. USC falling 5-16, and now we're headed to Mirage. What do you want to talk about that last map?
Like you said, they won both pistols, right? Like USC won both pistols, and typically if you win both pistols, that's almost an auto 6 rounds. But the fact that you lose 16-5 after winning both pistols, it just goes to show you that SJSU has just been extremely dominant on rifle rounds and outpicking them and getting the op to move around. So USC, I don't know what they can do to really win this next map unless they have strats. On Cash, we saw that they didn't have smoke strats, and that's typical for lower end teams. That's fine. Is that lower end teams, you want to build a good structure, build a good default base, and then go from there, right? Like you need to work picks, you need to learn the angles, but you need to have strats. You need to have smoke strats. If you can't get those picks, you need to outsmart your team or your opponent, and they just haven't had them. So maybe that was SJSU's pick, and Cash is very pick oriented. So if you're going to go play against a pug, say you're going to your lane for your first time, there's 2 maps you want to ban. If you have the possibility to ban Dust 2, ban Dust 2. If you have the opportunity to ban Cash, ban Cash. You just need to like make sure that those 2 pick maps are gone and then outstrat them on the other maps. So maybe we'll see it out of Mirage. Do you know who picked Mirage?
I don't actually know who picked what. But we're going to see SJSU coming in here, starting on the CT side.